As you may be aware, I and other members from the New Jersey delegation wrote to the President last year urging him to re-examine the decision to close Fort Monmouth, whose personnel are absolutely critical to our ability to provide proper intelligence and communications support for deployed troops. I know this administration did not make that ill-advised decision, but since we now know that the cost estimates were bogus, that although the data manipulation and to support a foregone conclusion and the stacked deck and the information improperly withheld from the Commission may not have been criminal, nevertheless, they were surely regrettable. I want to ask you about it. A number of people associated with Fort Monmouth, both on the giving and receiving end, those who are doing the work there and those in the field who depend on the C4ISR services, goods and services coming from there, tell me, well, in the words of one retired Army colonel, how can the Army continue to support a move that is flawed, way over budget, and cannot justify any cost savings at all? But well beyond the financial and fiscal concern, what bothers many of us is that the soldiers in the field are not getting and will not get the C4ISR support they need with deadly results. Just to elaborate on that, the Government Accountability Office has reported that if Fort Monmouth closes on schedule, the Army will be short perhaps 2,200 personnel. Now, these are very specialized personnel, engineering, procurement, and so forth. 2,200 personnel that it will need to properly support our deployed troops. So my question is, will the administration be revisiting the closure decision?
I really want to hand that one off to Joe Calcara. I feel certain the answer is no, but I know there is a long history, painful history surrounding the Monmouth closure, and I can take it for the record. I should probably
if you would, please,
Joe a shot at it.
I'm not alone in this, and as I say, you know, this retired colonel writes me and says, how can you do this when there are no cost savings at all? What people will not say on the record, but will say to me, is because the men and women in the field don't have somebody on the other end of the line, or will not have somebody on the other end of the line when they call back and say, we need an upgrade for IED detection. We need this week's upgrade. And there won't be anybody on the other end of the line, they believe this is not just a financially flawed decision.
Sir, if I may. And,
yes, sir.
I'm also from New Jersey, so hopefully you'll be easy on me as well.
Okay. But let me say right up front, this is not a New Jersey parochial interest.
Yes, sir.
And I resent it if people say that's what it's about.
Sir. And I was going to actually comment on it in a larger BRAC concept as we talk about cost growth at a location for additional capacity or a feature that was not included or the other sundry reasons that the budget grows for a move. My comment is the payback period is still there. Now, it may not be as it was in...
Does 4 decades count?
Well, I will tell you, the numbers that we have on Fort Monmouth, even with additional growth, are justifying maybe an 8 to 9 year payback versus 6. I would also tell you that on a monthly basis, we get together, the entire Army staff, command by command, and go through each of these locations from a human capital realignment standpoint, as well as the construction piece, which is kind of my lane. And in each individual base location, we have the human resources people tracking the recruiting, the movements, and I guess I have not heard yet that there is a loss or there is a dramatic concern for intellectual capital at the APG receiver site. The job market is tough. There are people who are changing their minds to move from New Jersey. I left New Jersey. There is life outside of New Jersey.
Yes, Mr. Calcara. Indeed, it was predicted that 25% of the people would move to Aberdeen.
Right.
It now looks like 50%.
Yes, sir. And growing every day.
That means 50%. No, it's leveling off at that, at 50%. And you will not find the other 50% and specialized engineers who can do communications in a noisy environment or IED detection or whatever it may be. You will not find them from temporary service employers. The Government Accountability Office was very clear. It will be mid-decade before the shortfall will be filled in. With the gentleman's permission, I would just like to ask one more question of Dr. Robyn. The Army Materiel Command has repeatedly resisted any effort. So if the answer is no, this will not be revisited. The Materiel Command has repeatedly resisted efforts to create a backstop capability for the services that Fort Monmouth currently provides. The state of New Jersey has created a nonprofit technology solution center that could help provide precisely that capability, using the talent in the area, especially the current Fort Monmouth employees who have chosen for various family and personal reasons not to move. We know that the McAfee Center, which is barely a decade old and has been a nerve center for the Army's key intelligence and communications programs, is still a very usable facility and will be for years to come. Can I have your commitment that you will work with me on this issue, for one, to ensure that a no-cost conveyance is available for the McAfee Center, and that the department will work with this technology solution center to see that the Army does have the technical backstop capability that the men and women in the field really, really need.
Yes, no, absolutely. I'd work with you. I don't know if it's a no cost or another kind of, cost EDC, but yes, I specialize in EDCs. I'd love to work with you on that as well as the other issue. Thank you.
Thank you for your